We're just gonna march in place. You can go for a walk around your house if you want. I have this new app that I'm trying. And swing those arms and eventually try to get them up a little higher, get your knees a little higher. If you have to slow down your march to do that, that's fine too. So I have a lot of equipment here. You all keep marching. I have some jugs I might use. I'll show you how to use instead of dumbbells because I don't have dumbbells. I have my new detergent I just talked about because it's a little bit heavier. I have my heavy bag full of cat litter, and I have some bands. And I'll show you how to use all of them for all of these exercises. So even if you don't have any weight at all, you can still do anything that we do here without weight. You know, you probably heard of like mind-muscle connection. It's actually a thing. So if you really think about squeezing those muscles that you're using when we are doing those strength moves, it'll really help because it puts those muscles under tension, and that's what leads to muscle growth, and that's what we want to get stronger. Okay, so we'll just step side to side. You can start moving your arms in and out nice and easy. Don't swing them too hard yet. And then just start with a little kick behind you to the butt. Get those hamstrings warming up. And now we'll do a little kick forward. And swing your arms opposite. You can go same side if you want, but it's much more complicated. Jen Babawash, who's out west, I love how you have your background and we can still see you exercising in front of your background. That's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do a round of warm-up. Some of you have been through this before. We're gonna do 3 warm-up exercises in a circuit and then repeat that a few times. We're gonna do 30 seconds of each. So the first one is a squat to stand. You have options. You can either just squat on the spot. If you need to squat to a box, we call it, or a couch or a chair, that's fine too. If you can touch your toes and do this, or even here, that's fine, but this is a squat to stand. So you're basically squatting and standing. Squatting and standing. If you want, at the bottom, you can also do an overhead reach with each arm. So I'm gonna flip around so you can see me here. Just another way to incorporate the shoulders into it. Or you can just do your squat here, arms overhead. Okay, now we're just gonna do a couple reverse lunges. 2 on the left leg, 2 on the right leg. You can also do these stationary if that helps. You can hang on to something if you need more help with your balance, totally fine. Do 1 more on each leg. Now we're gonna do an inchworm. It's kind of like the bear crawl that we've done before, if you've been with us before, but we're not gonna go very far. So we're just gonna step out, step up. Step out with your hands, step up with your feet. That's too much for you if you don't want to plank down like that for your shoulders. You can just do some of this. This is for warming up your core. And your shoulders a little bit too. Okay, gonna go back to the squat to stand. Whatever version that you did before. Or if you want to try a different version, go ahead. Just be gentle on your bend over that your hamstrings are ready for it. Okay, back to our reverse lunge. 2 on the left, 2 on the right, and then repeat. I'm often facing the side so you can see my form, but I'm looking this way so I can see you guys as much as I can anyways. And to make sure you can still see me on camera. Okay, back to our inchworm. Walk out, toes in. If you have a lot of space, you can do it in a line over and over. You don't have to turn around, but I like to make this modifiable, so in case you don't have a lot of space, you can just do it in a little 5-foot chunk. Okay, last round, one more set of squat to stand. If you're down in the bottom here, it's like, you all keep going. It's kind of like the yoga pose, I don't know what this one's called. You want to make sure that your heels are down on the ground, you don't want them lifting up. Or you can just do your squat. Okay, back to the reverse lunges, 2 on each side, 2 left, and then 2 right. And then repeat. Don't forget to breathe, even during this warm-up. Okay, back to our inchworm last time. You could even do this on a couch too. You could just go here, walk out and back. Makes it a little bit easier. Keep your belly button sucked in. You gotta engage that core so it's supporting your back. That's what your abs do. That's their job. They have one job. Okay, workout done. Grab some water. Workout done, I mean, warm up done. Psych. So today's gonna be a mix of shoulders and lower body. Not quite as intense in the style that we have been working out. It's a little more strength. It's still gonna be intense, but in a different way. So we're gonna work more on building muscle today. So you're gonna wanna grab whatever you have for dumbbells. You can also use a long exercise band for this if you want. So I'll just demonstrate. We're gonna do a front raise, which is just dumbbells in front of you. And then eventually we'll be doing a side raise, which is just dumbbells out beside you this way. And then we'll be doing a rear raise, which is dumbbells behind you. You can also do this seated if you need. So we're gonna do a combination of those. So we're gonna do 15 front raises, 15 side raises, 15 rear raises in a row. So I'm gonna just count mine in my head. You count yours. You don't have to match me, but just make sure you do 15, 15, and 15. So front raises, go. I'm also timing this, and basically it's 30 seconds. So if we get to 30 seconds and you haven't finished, then move on to the next one. And I'll let you know when that 30 seconds happens. Okay, side raises. I'm gonna turn here so you can see. You wanna keep like an athletic stance, slight bend in your knees. You don't have to bounce like I just did, but I'm just showing that you keep a slight bend there. It's gonna burn. You can take a break if you need it anytime and jump back in anytime. Okay, now we're gonna do the rear raises. Rear flies, some people call them. So with this, you wanna keep your head down, chin tucked. You don't wanna be looking up like this. I know some of you are probably trying to see my form. Just do a form check real quick and then get back to your neutral neck and spine. Ooh, feeling it already. Okay, now we're gonna go to a wide stance squat. So you can use your band this way if you want for tension. You can hold your dumbbells or you can hold your heavy bag, however you want. I usually hold mine in the front, or you can actually hold it down here too if you want to do more of like a deadlift this way. That's fine too. Just make sure you have a neutral back. So we're gonna do 12 of these. Go. And try to slow these down, okay? Like 2 counts down, pause, 2 counts up. I want these slow. I'm gonna turn here so you can see my form. Two more for me. I think you all are pretty much in time with me. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to our front, side, rear, but this time we're only doing 12 reps of each. So we're gonna do 12 front raises. Nine, 10, 11, 12. Give you a couple seconds. Now side raises. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're gonna do rear raises, 12 of these. If you're bent over like this, just make sure your back is neutral, you're not rounded, and you're not too arched either. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. These are different weights, by the way. So if you're using different weights like this, make sure next set you switch so you don't have one buff arm. Okay, back to our squats. 2 counts down, pause, 2 counts up, 12 reps. Doing a wider stance today to get more glutes and hamstring involved. Make sure you can get down to parallel, which means your thigh is parallel to the ground. If you can't get to parallel, use the couch, use a chair. Because if you're squatting on your own and you're only going to here, it's more quad focused and it puts more pressure on your knees and you can injure yourself more easily. That's why I talk about glutes and hamstrings so much, because it's so important to have that strength so you don't injure your knees. It's more important to use a box and go to parallel than it is to squat on your own and only go here. All right, back to our front side rear again. This time we're doing 10 reps of each. So 10 to the front. Now I want you to switch palms up for these last couple reps. And I lost count, so we'll make this the last one. Now we're gonna go back to side raises, 10 of these. I'm feeling it in the heavier jug arm. Okay, rear raises, rear flies, 10. You can do this with your bands too. You guys keep going. Front raises, you can do this way. Side raises, you can do it, but you're gonna have to bend your elbows most likely, which is fine. Just make sure your elbows stay to the side. Rear raises, same thing, have the band behind you or in front of you. It just depends. Actually, no, sorry, for this one, you should have it in front and this way. We done 10 yet? Looks like, okay, we're gonna go back to our squats. Same before, 2 counts down, pause, 2 counts up, wide stance, get those glutes going. We're doing 12 of these. If you get too tired, you can either keep the tempo and do less, take a break and pick it up, or you can take out the pause. But ideally, I'd like you to keep the slower tempo. Whew. Okay, last set of our shoulder combo. We're gonna do 8 of each, so 8 front raises. Five, 6, 7, 8. Side raises, I'm just gonna switch arms. Oops, I used the wrong jug. 1, 2. Even though we're not technically doing high intensity interval training today, because we're supersetting, which means going back and forth between exercises, your heart rate is still gonna be up, and I can feel mine right now. Okay, rear raises, 8 of them, go. Switch sides, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, last set of wide stance squats. Grab your heavy bag, whatever you were using before. Let's go for 10. Pause. Pause. Pausing any movement in the bottom of the move or the most difficult area or within the move is such a good way to make an exercise harder. Now that we're not working out in gyms, we don't have all the weights we want to use, a way to make any move harder is to pause. And I lost count, I think this is 9. It's hard to talk and exercise, never mind talk and count and exercise. That's why I usually just time these circuits, but I thought I'd try this today. Okay, grab some water. Whew. Okay, hear my heart. Okay, we're gonna do another shoulder combo, superset with a lower body combo, or lower body move. So keep pressing. The moves we're gonna do, I'm just gonna demonstrate. An Arnold press, a front side combo, and a rear delt swing. An Arnold press is palms towards you, and then you push, press up, but you, oh my camera, I'm just gonna squat down so you can see. Palms towards you, palms away from you. You can do this standing, you can do it kneeling if you want. So that's an Arnold press. And then front side combo is basically what we just did, but we're putting it together in one move. Rear delt swing is rear delts again, but we're going behind us this way. So instead of out to the side, it's behind. This way, okay. So grab your dumbbells, you can do this with bands too, or you don't have to do it with any weight at all and just squeeze those muscles. All right, 12 Arnold presses. I'm gonna go down here so you can see me. Go. I'm actually gonna switch to this. Nine, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now we're gonna do our front side combo. Front, side, that's one rep, we're doing 12. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, feeling it. Anyone else feeling it? 10. These weigh about, one weighs 4-ish pounds and one weighs about 7-ish pounds. Okay, rear swing. You're gonna do 12 of these. Just think about raising those arms up behind you. Don't forget to breathe. 12. Okay, now our lower body move, we're going to do a pause hip thrust. I like to use my heavy bag. You don't have to use any weight at all. You can use your bands if you want. This is where you need your bench. If you don't have a bench or a couch or an ottoman or a chair, just do a glute bridge on the floor this way, like this. But we're going to do a hip thrust so we get more range of motion and more glutes recruited. Okay, so you want about a shoulder width distance for your feet. Toes slightly turned out, just slightly, about 20 degrees. And you're gonna thrust up, and you want your shins to be perpendicular to the ground, so like a 90-degree angle at your knees. So we're gonna 1, 2, pause, 1, 2, down. 1, 2, pause, down. And I will tell you when to stop. If you have a short band, you can put it around your thighs. Makes it a little bit harder. The most important thing is the tempo, to slow down and squeeze at the top. Keep your gaze forward, your eyes forward, your chin tucked. If you have to support your head with your hands, that's fine. You want to think about tilting your pelvis under. You don't want your ribs to be flared at the top or your back to be arched. Okay, back to our shoulder combo. Grab your dumbbells or your bands, whatever you're using. 12 Arnold presses, go. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, up to our front raise sideways combo, 12. Front, side, that's 1. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just turning so you can see it from different angles. 8, 10, woof, 11, oh my God. 12. If it's too heavy for you at the end, you can always bend your elbows for the side raise, and that makes it a bit easier. Okay, rear raise behind you. Rear swing, I guess we're calling it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Arms are straight for this. 9, 10, 11, 12. Back to our hip thrust. Or the glute bridge if you want to do it with your back on the floor, that's fine. Pause at the top, slowly. Pause. Pause. You don't have to pause at the bottom. As soon as you get to the bottom, you can go up to the top. That ever important pause is at the top. If you have a child running around, you could put them on your lap and you could hip thrust them. If you're really strong, you can hip thrust your partner. Just remember, you don't want to arch your back during this move. Pelvis tucked under at the top. Gaze forward. You're looking at the wall across from you, chin tucked. If you're doing it without weight, you can hang on to anything. You can put your hands here, here, doesn't matter. Okay, back to our shoulder combo, last round. Arnold press, 12. 5, 6, I'm gonna swap. Gotta keep them even. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Front raise, side raise combo, 12, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm gonna swap here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, one more, 12. Okay, rear swing, 12. 6, I'm swapping here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, last hip thrust set. Grab your weight, grab your band. 2 counts up, pause, 2 counts down. I can't see anyone, so I'm assuming you're all doing it since your cameras are pointed up instead of down. But if it gets to be too much, you take a break anytime. I like supersetting because you don't usually have to prescribe much rest in between sets, because if you're working upper body, then switching to lower body, your upper body is getting a rest while your lower body works, and vice versa. All right, we're gonna do 10 more seconds. Eyes forward, chin tucked, ribs down. Whew, okay. All right, now for the fun part. We're gonna do a glute burnout. I'm gonna adjust this a little bit. So if you have bands, you can use them. If you don't, that's fine, you don't need to. We're gonna do something called seated abduction into a hip thrust, wide stance hip thrust, narrow stance hip thrust. So the abduction is just sitting on the ground like this. If you don't have a band, I don't want you to do it this way. I want you to just do it like a clam, a lying clam. If you don't have a band, lay down on the ground for the abduction and just do this one. Okay? So it's gonna be 20 reps of those. If you're doing clam, you're gonna have to do left and then right. But if you're on the floor doing abduction, you just do 20, 1 set of 20. And then we're gonna do 20 wide stance hip thrusts and 20 narrow stance hip thrusts, all in a row. Take a tiny break and do it again. Okay. So if you're down, you gotta be near your bench, or if you don't have it like before, you can just do a glute bridge on the floor. So 20, go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Go at your own time. If you're not at time with me, that's fine. Then you're gonna move to wide stance hip thrust. So actually for this one, this band is too tight. You can do it with no band. If you don't have a band, that's fine too. I do want a wider stance. So even wider than before. 20 of these. Get those knees out as far as you can. If you're on the ground, same thing, wide stance. If hip thrusts are too much, you can do just glute bridges also, regardless if you have the bench or not. When you get to 20, you're gonna do your narrow stance. So same idea, but put your feet together and your knees together and do 20 of these. You're gonna feel this more in your hamstrings and your adductors inside. $14, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, take a little breather. Grab some water. Give you about 30 seconds. We're gonna do one more round of that. So make sure you have your band on. If you're not, you're doing the floor clam this way. You can even do these this way if you want, but I like this way because then you get both legs at once. Whew, okay. All right, 20 of whatever version you're doing. Make sure if you're doing one side then the other, you're doing 20 on both sides. Whenever you're ready, go. 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, this band is so tight. Okay, when you're done that 20, go to your wide stance hip thrust. Some people prefer a wider stance, and I'm actually one of those people. I feel like I feel it more in my glutes. Everybody's different though, because everybody's hips are different in their sockets. So it's up to you to experiment with which stance works best for you. Same with squatting. I have no idea what number I'm on. I'm gonna say 10. Ooh, I'm feeling it. 12, 13. And if the band gets to be too much, you can always stop and take the band off. Okay, 20 narrow stance. Whenever you finish your wide stance, same thing as before, you want your shins perpendicular to the ground. 90-degree angle over your knees and the floor, actually. Eyes forward. You don't want your head to be back here. So if your neck gets tired, hold it with one hand, but make sure you aren't flaring your ribs out the whole time. You want to keep your ribs tucked. So you want to keep your elbows pointing forward if you're going to hold your head up. The reason we don't want our ribs to flare and our back to arch is because then we can't flex our glutes and use our glutes as good. That had to be 20, I totally lost count. Yay, we're done. All right. You can stay on the floor, we're gonna do some stretches. I'm just gonna adjust my angle a little bit. Down. Okay. So for glute stretches, you have a couple options. You can lay down and cross one ankle over the other thigh. Put your hands behind that thigh and pull it towards you. Think of this knee pushing out that way. You can even push on it if you want. Do that with the other leg. Another option is if you like to do yoga, there's the pigeon pose kind of idea where you have it tucked like this leg, and then you sit on your heel, hips facing forward. This way is an option. If you have any of your own favorite stretches, this is the time to do them. We're just cooling down a little bit. Heart rate shouldn't be up too high because we did that little glute burnout. Hamstring stretches, you can do them standing if you like. I like to do them on the ground, and I use a little helper since I'm not very flexible. I just wrap like a band or a yoga strap, or you can just hang on here too. Pull your knee towards you. Your leg does not have to be straight. Mine never is because I'm not very flexible. The only time I can straighten it is if I have a band around it. And this is as far as I can go. But I still feel it. Just switch sides. If you want to do the standing hamstring stretch, you can do this one. Split stance. Think of a straight back and pushing your butt to the wall behind you. Feeling it right in here. Make sure you do the other side. And we'll do a quick quad stretch. You can hang onto the wall, you can hang onto the couch, a chair, whatever. Just lift one leg behind you, shoulder down. We don't want it up by our ears. Bring that heel to the butt. No arching the back either, no ribs flaring. We want a tight core. Suck that belly button in. We don't want our leg out here either. We want to tuck it. Switch sides. This is what it looks like from the back. Shoulders, one across the body. Just nice and gentle. You don't want to pull too hard because you don't want to pull any of these little muscles you have in your shoulder girdle. They're very important. And once you pull them, it takes a lot of work in physio to heal them. And we'll do a front chest, front shoulder stretch, arms straight behind you, hands together, shoulders down again, ribs. We don't want them flared, back arch. We want a tight core. Think about raising your hands behind you. All right. Well, we are technically done.